Hey guys, grow the farm up. Let's take a quick look at the planter and the tractor 8345 RT. As we've discussed, it's a pretty stock John Deere. It's got to be a cast iron row unit. I do leave my furrow openers on just to sweep away any beaver hills, dams, things like that. But they don't plug up, not in this crunchy rye. I do like the spoked wheels. These are the opener discs. This is what opens the trench, and the seed drops out of the seed tube right there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I have tried every closing wheel known to man. Rubber, and I just run rubber because they run the best in all conditions. Oh, can't show you the bag. Okay. Welcome to the cab, where we got all kinds of cool buttons and stuff to click. Okay, let's set that planter down. Make sure our auto steer is engaged and get planting. I don't know if you guys see that or not. 3.4 mile an hour. And seem to be engaged in planting. Okay. I was watching a John Stevens video the other day. He talked about running a little more down pressure than he probably liked or should. I can totally relate, especially in a no-till situation like this. Planting into really thick and tall, but nice and brown and crispy cover crop rye clover vetch mix, and it's planting really nicely with, like I said, just basically a stock. I mean, it's got all the aftermarket row unit stuff on it and the fancy row meters and all that stuff, but I mean, see, we can get super technical. You know, we can go in and we can see how many seeds each row has. You want to know what another row is throwing out? Let's see, how's row 7 doing? You know, that's exactly how many seeds row 7 has. If you see 4 and 9 are low, well, look, 4 and 9, I'm planting male in 4 and 9, and I'm only planting half of it right now. So you got to kind of learn to set your planter up this way. You can see here how I've got the female in kind of that purple, the male in kind of that orangish brown. Female, male, female. So we're planting 2 different varieties at the same time. Rows 4 and 9 have male, and the rest have female. And look at this cover crop. And look at how well that planter plants into it without a bunch of attachments or any of that stuff needed. Really all you need when you start cover cropping is a good drill, a Great Plains drill. Sure, you can go get one of those singulating, what do they call them? John Deere makes them now, those big air carts with the singulating row units. You know, if you got $1 million laying around, go get you one of those. But you know, for 30, 40, 50 grand, you get yourself a pretty nice 40-foot, 60-foot Great Plains drill. Heck, for 15, 20 grand, you get yourself a pretty nice 20-footer at an auction, 18, 22-footer. That's what I started with. until I figured out I wanted to plant soybeans with my drill also. Great Plains got the drill figured out. Clearly, look at how well it did drilling this rye last fall, clover and vetch. Let's take a look through the monitor here. How many satellites are we pulling? Yep, we've got normal satellite operation today, which is good. And let's take a look at our work totals. Okay, so we planted 66.47 fertile and 9.5 male for 77 acres total. And we do have a big boundary made for the seed corn. And this here is not planted because it's an isolation between two different inbred crosses. This is a variety, and this will be isolation, either Milo or soybeans. Probably Milo this year. And then that will be a variety. You can't just plant the varieties right next to each other. They've got to be isolated. All kinds of buttons over here. Figure it out kind of thing. If you're a farmer, if you're not, here, look at the cool buttons. Ooh, man, so many buttons. Don't let it overwhelm you. All you gotta do is know how to, just, navigate through all this. That's all. That's the whole thing. You just gotta know how to, okay, there's your hydraulics, and, there's your IVT selector. There's your field crews, and then you want to select a hydraulic. How we doing on our vacuum? We're running tiny little seed. This is actually untreated. Should have looked at that while we were outside, but you guys know what untreated seed looks like. Racing another thunderstorm, so we ain't getting out again to look. John Deere 8345 RT with the RTK John Deere auto steer system and a 1720 12 row bar that has had many upgrades done over the years, but as I just showed you is a pretty, see how that yeah, we know you're not planting. See how that automatically shuts off at the boundary? See, that automatically shuts off and it'll automatically turn on, and it will not plant outside of that boundary. You have to set it up that way. Before the days of GPS and stuff, you had to be real careful when you were planting seed corn. You had to not forget what you're doing, because as you probably noticed, see, we're not planting to the end of the field because I gotta isolate against that guy, time isolate against him too. But okay, see, planter's going down. Okay, so it's on the ground, but look, it's not planting yet. And there, now it's turned on, now it's planting. And I've just left that pass there because I'm gonna get it coming back. I like to skip sections with the tractor when I can, especially up against a road, because the tractors do leave pretty good ruts and divots when you turn them on a dime. They can turn on a dime, but Now check this out, the side hill here, the cover crop did not establish near as well. Why does it do that? I always wonder why, and you can see across the field the lower areas, but not all. I mean, this is kind of up a hill. It almost seems to me like the spots that need it the most. Wow, look at that cloud coming in right at me. That guy's coming at me and building. I believe Ryan Hall is probably live right now with about 900 million people watching him sit at his house and read to us what an app is putting out. I mean, Ryan Hall might just be AI. Good for whoever figured that out. That's brilliant. But yeah, it's part of being seed corn. When you're growing your seed corn producer, sometimes you're planting your corn when your neighbor's corn is like a foot tall. Doing that for a couple of reasons. One, quality. You get better quality the later you plant. You're after quality, not necessarily quantity. A good yield is a byproduct of doing things right, but you're after quality of the next generation seed. I'd rather have, just for easy figuring, I'd rather have 50 fantastic quality usable units for sale per acre off this than I would rather have 100 units of just kind of regular Walmart wholesale seed that a lot of the industries, selling, especially when I'm dealing with these specialty lots here and these increases, which is what these are. These have to be so time isolated, they've got to go in late. We are coming up on Memorial Day weekend, but we are going to get everything in by the 25th this year. Looking good. Now we're going to slow her down just a little bit, because I like to slow down a little bit when we're going through. I mean, that's just a lot of stuff to process. It works. You get out and dig around, and I've spent years digging around behind planters in this. People come out and go, "There's no way that's working right." So you just get out, go dig, find seeds, and I'll be danged if they're not exactly where they're supposed to be, 2 inches or 2 knuckles deep. Everywhere, even right where they're splitting a root system. And that's actually, those are the first seeds to pop out of the ground. The ones that the true V's actually split a root system. That's why I run so much freaking down pressure. I don't run this much down pressure on everything. If I'm just no-tilling, for example, I'd take a little pressure off. But coming into this stuff, I think a little down pressure is warranted, We're at like 60 pounds, which is pretty substantial. You see, there's just spots like this where the cover crop didn't overwinter as well, and why does it do that? And it's interesting. Look, you can see the old drive. These are the tracks we've been driving down for 25 years. So how come the rye grows there? It's very interesting. It reveals the drive tracks from 20 years ago, because we've got these GPS things. We've been driving on the same inch or 2 inch wide pass forever, controlled compaction. All our Haggies to Tasselers, everything drive down. So, when you grow seed corn, you make 10, 12 passes a year. So, the rye seems to grow more, the cover crop seems to grow more where it's probably a little lower, so contribute some of it to moisture, not all of it, and also where it's more compacted. So, does the rye grow where it's more compacted? Is that ground perhaps a little less compacted, so it didn't push to establish its roots as deep, and therefore it did not overwinter as well? I'm just throwing theories out. I'm asking the internet and the farm tube, what some of it's probably just just didn't catch a rain, or who knows what. But You know, corn doesn't come in up like that. All the rows better come up. Fields have good spots and bad spots, but I've always found it interesting. It seems like every year I put rye in, there's, you know, you got a 160 acre field, let's say. It seems like there's 15 acres that just doesn't fill in just nice like that. You know, what do you suppose that is? Is that a good sign or a bad sign? You know, soil samples say that actually everything's not only just fine, but maybe even a little better where the rye doesn't overwinter as well. So it makes me think about compaction. The soil's definitely more compacted where the rye grows. So some food for thought and a little tractor tour. Grow the farm up.